ever been there? You haven't had a vacay in months, zero time to call your mother, let alone have a hobby, and yet for some reason your to-do list keeps getting bigger, bigger, and bigger until you hit a breaking point. That's me. I feel like I'm never not working, yet every day I can't get my to-do list done. So it carries over to the next day. To-do list is double the size, and then that happens the third day, and it's triple the size. It's this never-ending cycle until I hit my breaking point. And that was this weekend. My treat after the 6 months of hard work was to buy this sweater. I waited all the last 2 weeks to buy this sweater. Saturday comes, I go buy the sweater, I take my Uber home, Uber takes off, sweater is still in the Uber. Started crying, calling, they're not picking up. I'm like, you know what, your groceries, go grab your groceries. You got them Instacarted. I look at the Instacart app, it is delivered to my office, my groceries aren't there. I'm hungry, I'm broken. Call my boyfriend and just explain that my world is over. He tells me, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. You're overreacting. Oh, but I was not overreacting. And then after about, 2 hours of crying, I came to my senses and realized, no, it wasn't that big of a deal. And I was definitely overreacting. And that is usually my signal when little things become way too big of things that I am indeed burnt out. I'm gonna bring you guys along with me for a day of a human that's burnt out. For one, I'm gonna document every time I have a flare-up, use a tool to attempt to overcome it. I'm gonna use this camera to keep me accountable and not just self-sabotage. And hopefully you don't feel so alone that you're not the only human in this burnout cycle that is adulthood. Stress number one, I'm not sleeping well. I've had this awful headache, which makes me not sleep. And not sleeping causes stress. And I'm stressed because I know that will cause me more stress, which causes me more stress, and it's this cycle. Ugh. Solution one is to find where I'm physically holding stress in my body. And for me, I just discovered that headache I'm referring to, it's a tension headache. It's because this is all connected into here. And apparently 8 hours a day of going like this, editing music and video, causes pain all the way up here into your head. I've been seeing my physio, I went and saw my doctor, and there's knots all in my jaw. I'm gonna take a minute today and be the ultimate self-care girl. Try and massage all the knots out of my neck. Stress number two is this thing, specifically those red badges, the text and the emails. I want to check them because I just want to get rid of them, but at the same time, if I deal with them, I'll start spiraling. So here's my solution, and I realize this isn't accessible to everyone. I'm in a long distance relationship with all my best friends and my boyfriend, so I do want to check my phone in the morning, see if they're okay. Like, there's a time zone difference, but I don't want extra messages, all the emails and messages about work that I have to deal with, and then I see it and it triggers me. So I've gotten 2 phones. Work phone, personal phone, only my closest people that call. It's my happy place. It's just communicating with my loved ones. And so yes, I will go on that in the morning because time zone differences. I say this to everyone who's wanting to do this content creation, or all my friends who own small businesses. I think everyone should have 2 phones. The concept that your work, best friends, loved ones, Tinder are all on the same thing and we're just supposed to shut it off. Sorry. Don't attach personal and work into one. I think that's toxic. But I have a solution for all of you who don't want to fork over the extra $100 a month for another plan. You probably have 2 Apple products. Only give work stuff that stresses you out and like an iMessage account and put it on your laptop or your iPad. I realize I don't have furniture. I have Apple products. And create some boundaries. Why decorate your apartment when you could have this? Number 3, I remember everything I have to do today. I start spiraling. It seems overwhelming. I don't even know where to start. Solution number 3, which always works when I'm spiraling, workout. I think it's easy if we define it to actually overcome it. I liked this quote, is Dr. Elisa Appeal on the Huberman Lab podcast said, stress is pretty much overwhelm when the demands we have are too much for the resources we have available. It's 10 a.m. and it's time for breakfast. And the one problem I have when I'm stressed is I have no appetite. And because I don't eat, then I get really anxious because I don't have energy. And then it becomes this self-sabotaging circle. Something that helps me when I'm stressed and lost my appetite. It's so basic. I saw this on the Huberman Lab podcast. I guess you could meditate, you could breathe. But for me, 2 inhales, exhale. So let's do it together. We're just gonna go. And for me, it's just like instant silence. You can breathe, you have a minute, you can eat some food, you'll feel better after and you'll be more productive. How I structure my days, I do 2 90 to 120 minute work blocks that are like 100% creative focused, and nothing stresses me out more than I'm just in the flow, working harder when I need to, and just bing, 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 bing. And even if they're not binging, I just see that red badge punch to the gut in the corner. Here's my hack. I removed all red badges from my text messages, emails, so there's none. You never see the red. Also, I moved all my iMessage to not the home screen. My home screen just has like Notion, Google Calendar, Maps. The next one has things like SoundCloud, Spotify. You gotta scroll all the way to like the fourth before you see any kind of Instagram or even messages. And I find that helps me just block it, that this is creative time and there's not that interruption of flow, because that causes me to spiral out of control. Next stress. After about 2 hours of working, I get this
icky, empty feeling.
And I try to push through it because I'm like,
just get it done.
Grow to resent it, and I just feel gross and angry. My solution, cold exposure or get outside in nature. So I'm gonna go on a walk to cold exposure. A little treat. Got a cocoa. JJ inspired me to go get a hot cocoa. When I'm stressed, I don't want to see people because I just have 100 thoughts and I just don't want to commit to anything because then I'm overcommitting. But I'm also extroverted. But I noticed if I don't see people, I lose energy. Because I don't have energy, I don't want to see people. And it's a vicious cycle. Today at lunch, I'm just going to get some social interaction and have lunch with the people in my office. After lunch, I'm going into my second work bout of the day, and something that really stresses me out in this is if I didn't get most of my work done in the first half, I'm like, I'm running out of time and I'm gonna have to compile that onto tomorrow. And so that vicious cycle of never-ending to-do list, that's too much to do.
And then burn it all to the ground.
So something I'm gonna do right now that Dr. Elisa Peel mentioned in the podcast is, this one's also so basic, but let's all try. The solution is reframing it. Yes, I'm stressed. Yes, I only have 3 hours till kind of the end of the day to finish a whole lot of stuff. But instead of being freaked out that this is too much, I'm just realizing this stress right now I'm feeling will help me better manage better stressors in the future that are even bigger. So it's kind of like I'm building a muscle. And also my goal is to not spend the whole day like this because it is giving me chronic migraines. So we're gonna, good posture. Right? Everyone instantly sits up. You watching, sit up, right? We're all gonna sit on our tailbones. Neck, good posture.
Save your back.
Save your back, don't break your mother's crack.
Don't break your what?
We gotta celebrate our wins. It's 1 p.m. and I haven't indulged in any of my negative self-sabotaging coping mechanisms. Over drinking energy drinks, skin picking. My intrusive thoughts aren't there. We're just gonna celebrate that we might not be perfect, but we're not self-sabotaging. Hey Google, can you please play Rhyme Dust by Dom Dolla? So polite. Google. Step number 3, ask for help. Now, Emily Nagosk, the writer of the book Burnout, one piece of advice she gives in the book that I'm really bad at, especially being an eldest child, I don't know if that's what it is. Needing people is a fact of life, not a weakness. So I am going to reach out and try and have someone help me with some parts of work that are overwhelming because I'm a one-woman show and I'm drowning. My mic just died. That was also a metaphor. What is the best solution when you feel burnt out?
When I'm feeling burnt out, sometimes I just need to treat myself. I've been feeling a little bit stressed lately, so you're actually catching me at a good time. One of my favorite self-care treats is this iced chocolate and chocolate chip cookie. Always makes me feel at least a little bit better.
I love that. A little treat. Got a cocoa.
I usually go for a workout. That's the best.
I'd agree. That is the hack.
I get a lot of ideas while I'm working out. I have to bring my phone because I have to write down my ideas.
The amount of times people in Vancouver have seen me walking on the seawall, just head in phone, thinking I'm like, oh, who's she texting? I was like, no, you go on a walk, you start moving, and it's like, idea.
That is doing nothing, completely switching off, and going to therapy. Therapy and doing nothing.
Some call it meditation. Step number 4 for avoiding future burnout is what do all of our therapists tell us? Warwick, on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Boundaries. I was like, oh, damn it. I was gonna say, I was like, I feel it's universal, overwhelm, stress, anything. Set up boundaries. So yeah, my boundaries has been leaving the office at 6 o'clock. Even if I have work to do, and I'm gonna get it done. All that ends up happening is I work till 10. I'm so exhausted that I sleep in the next day and I lose hours from the next one. So I've kind of accepted now, overworking on one day just takes the productivity of the next day.
Hey, the sun's out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the sun is. It's a Christmas miracle. The burnout is ending. Oh, this is a physical representation of my mental state. Lightning, thunder. So like the last hour before my boundary of when I try to end work, I don't just have an hour of work left. I have days of work left. Once again, I didn't finish my full to-do list, so it carries over to tomorrow. So the solution that every single stress management person I've ever promoted that I never do, but I'm going to do in this moment, gratitude. I get to make YouTube videos and music for a living, and that is literally the coolest thing on earth. The coolest thing on earth. And I should be so grateful. And so even though it's been stressful, even though there's too much to do and I feel overwhelmed and burnt out, I have an unbelievable job. I have a great family. I'm healthy. I actually heard this as new mother's advice. It's overwhelming. There's so much. The baby's crying. And to kind of picture yourself as an 80-year-old coming back for one day, to live one day with your child as they were 1 year old. So I try to do that now. I've just pictured myself as 80, coming back to this moment now. This is 80-year-old Kelsey getting to live one more day in her youth. Okay, I gotta be that person that's like, I just heard this on a podcast. Plain English by Derek Thompson. The whole episode is about alcohol, caffeine, cold plunges, and like fitness trackers. Don't drink and optimize and fitness trackers and cold plunge and all this. And I fall into this. I love that kind of stuff, but because I'm feeling burned out, you guys might be feeling burned out. We're all trying to give up alcohol and cold plunge and do 100 different things and Pilates. Like we all feel overwhelmed. We optimize everything now. We have a workout score on our Apple Watch, and we have our work goals with money. We even have trackers for our sleep now, which I like, but I get the irony in that. Everything has to be optimized. So new mantra, don't optimize life so much that I miss my life. So I'm gonna list some of the toolkits I've found that I've been using that hopefully you can use. So first off the bat, the Stress Shields from Dr. Elisa Abel. 1, remind yourself of past success. You've gone through this before. 2, remind yourself of someone you can call or feel supported by. 3, distance yourself. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? 4, positive reminders. Reframe it. Mindful minute. Simply label the stressful emotion. Get out in nature, which is my biggest hack. Literally just walk in nature, just like clears the mind. That's a cliche because it's true. Deep rest, find joy, usually comes from gratitude, living in the moment, and simply rewrite the narrative. Rewrite how you view the stress. Now those are really mindful practices, and I know for myself when I'm really burnt out,
I'm like, I can't think positively. I can't just like churn my mind.
So these ones are a bit more actionable ones. And this is from Emily Nagoski, PhD, also one of the writers of the book Burnout. Breathing, for me, that's the double inhale, 1 exhale. 2, positive social interactions. So that's literally just seeing a friend, even as simple as like, come, let's go grab a coffee. 3, laughter. This saved me. This weekend when everything was falling apart, ironically, my best friend Ash was also going through this. She had knocked over her detergent, knocked over her big mirror. I texted her, I was like, what's going on? Where is Mercury? We are going back and forth texting, and she's like, oh my God, my shower curtain just fell. And I laughed for 5 minutes. We are in a simulation. Laughter, because you can't be burnt out when you're laughing. I don't know if that's true. Have you ever felt burnt out while you were laughing?
I think the delusion helps.
It's like false, it's temporary,
Yeah.
but in the moment, it's impossible to
Sometimes you
feel.
gotta be delusional.
Yeah, delusion is good.
No, you can't say that.
It's like, no. Number 4, a big old cry. Sometimes, you know what, I also cried and it felt really nice. And let's not make fun of people who cried. I used to suppress it as a child. No, let people cry. Are you gonna cry?
A cry tattoo. Just a reminder to cry more.
That's a good one. New mantra for 2023, cry more. We all need to. Next on 5, affection. A good old hug. That's why dogs are just the best therapy, is hug a dog. Instant cure. And last one, helps for me a lot, creative expression. So that could be writing music, just draw. I feel just a bunch of emotion. I just try and write a song about it, and it helps. And most people will never hear those songs, but maybe one day you will. And out of all those, my most common ones are breathing, walk in nature, laugh, and creative expression. I'm trying to get better at because those are a bit more temporary, but I find like the reframing, the gratitude changes the whole entire outlook of your life. And I'm only saying this, not as an expert, but just as someone who used to get burnt out like every 2 months and literally be like,
I'm burning everything to the ground.
Now it's like, ooh, you're a week away from starting to self-sabotage. Let's scale it back. Let's put some boundaries on. Let's take some time to go in nature. Let's call a friend. Let's not self-isolate. If you're feeling right now, you're getting mad at milk spilling, maybe ask yourself, do you feel like you don't have enough resources to deal with the overwhelm in your life? And you might be on the path to being burnt out, or you could literally be burnt out. I can't assess that for you, but just I see you in the corner over there. Are you a little on edge? You might need a breath. Let's just all do it together. Double inhale, 1 exhale. Carly, I noticed you did not, so one more time. And comment down below any of stress tools you guys have, any ways to manage burnout, what has worked for you, or if you're chronically burnt out, just vent about it. Let's all just vent. Sometimes you just need to vent about it, and then we can laugh about it. Have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye. In the wise words of JJ, treat yourself.